Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for this presentation that we're going to give today. Today what we're actually going to be talking about is something that's very, very interesting and something that's very, very difficult to understand, but yet at the same time it's something that is very much needed to understand in order to provide what we're struggling with here, which is good quality customer service. And as you can see up on the board, I know that it doesn't come out real great, but there actually is a slide up there that says customer service. And today we're going to talk a little bit about customer service and what we can do. So some questions that I've got for you this morning actually are, have you ever been on this call? And what you can actually see behind, and I apologize for the lighting, but what actually it is it's somebody that is actually wanting to strangle themselves with the cord of the phone. Now, you and I both know that we've had conversations with people in the past where that has been the exact thing. Based on the slides you can see, do you ever realize or come in contact with the 8 a.m. monster phone call? They call as soon as you walk in the door. You haven't actually had much time at all to prepare, sit down, or even get ready for the day, and you get that call that just buries you. You also have the 5 p.m. nightmare, as we call it. You're getting ready to walk out the door, that phone call comes, and you have to take it. And then once you take it, it's a call that just goes and goes and goes, and you don't feel like you're ever going to get out of there. And it's also something that needs to be satisfied and fixed that night before you can even leave. What do? You have the storyteller, which is anytime during the day they come on, they start and they want to tell you a story. And they start from when they were babies. And you just cannot get off the phone or relieve any of that no matter what you do. How do you handle those? What do you do about those? What do you do? And what can we do as a company to make those calls go better for us? And we're going to talk about that a little bit today and see if we can't get to a little bit of understanding. You also have the world is coming to an end. Every time that they call, there is something that is happening to them, and everything is going to crash and burn right now if you don't get it situated for them. What are you doing with those? How are you actually going to make those calls worthwhile and make those customers satisfied when the day's done? As we move on to the next slide, we are the fixers for customer care. When people call into this company, we have to be the front line. We are the most important ones on that front line. We have to make sure that not only are the calls getting taken care of and answered, but that the people are feeling a sense of care. Too many times we take these calls and people just feel like they just got in the runaround. The last thing that we need in this company is for a single person to feel like they got a runaround. What we actually need to do is make sure that we're presenting with them the best that we can. We're attempting to fix every problem while we're on the phone so we don't have return calls, callbacks, continued calls, which just takes everybody's time, energy, and is just actually a detriment to what we're trying to do. Our company, basically, as you all know, some examples and some numbers for you. I apologize that you can't see, but the numbers up there. We accept about 1,100 calls per day. We have currently 8 people that are on the phones taking those calls each and every single day. Due to the 8 people, we average about 138 calls per person. Each person, based on the analysis, gets about 2 minutes per call, which then turns around and equals out to 276 minutes out of your day, which is roughly 4.5 hours of an 8-hour shift that we're on the phone with customers. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a whole lot of time, and that's on a relatively slow day for us. What do we do with that time? How good are you being with that time, with that 2 minutes or so that you have with those patients? What are you doing to make sure that they are fully satisfied when they are off the phone? These customers are our clients, and as up on the board, we are here to solve their problems. We're here to listen. Active listening for these customers is critical. I can't tell you how many times I've called somebody or called on the phone to a customer service representative and I've told them my name and they can't remember it. They ask me to repeat it. How well do you think they're feeling that I'm paying attention to them? Not well. We need to make sure that we are getting everything. If you have to write it down so you remember it, whatever you have to do, we have to make sure that those people, we're using their name, they know that we're using their name and we're paying attention to them. If we're not actively listening, we're not going to be very effective on the phones. We're here to be the sounding board, and we always need to be smiling. Have you ever answered the phone smiling? Does your tone not come across better when you're smiling? I know you're going to take tough calls. We all do. But you need to continue to smile through those because it too will pass. If you're not willing to smile and do that, then what happens on the other end is they hear your frustration and then the whole thing cycles. If you're smiling, your head is clear. If you're aggravated or upset, your head is not clear and you're just trying to hurry up and get them off the phone. This is not effective. We are not positive at that point in time, and we have to remain positive if we're going to make a difference in what we're doing on the phones. As our next slide shows, we have an agenda, we have a goal here. Our new goal and mantra is a customer for life. When they pick up the phone and they call us, we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to solve their problem, actively listen for them, and understand where they're coming from, because when it's all said and done, we want them to have the best experience possible on that phone with any one of our customer care representatives. We want that customer for life. Their word of mouth brings more business here, which in turn, you know the cycle. You understand where it goes. So, let's look at how we're going to succeed going forward. These are some options that we have to look at. And again, I apologize. We're going to smile. We smile, everything changes very, very simply when we're on the phone. We're also going to take the tough calls. You want the tough calls because the tough calls are what makes you better on the phone. They're also what helps you to understand and realize that you are very, very good and very valuable. We value everybody that picks up and answers the phone. I'm not privy to not answering the phone. We need to do that. Take the tough calls. Don't pass them up. Your tone on the phone will drive that entire call. However you want to do that, whatever you want to do tone-wise, that's going to drive it. These are our 3 items for success. Are you with me or are you not? If you want to be with me, we are the voice. And as the slide says, let's be heard. Thank you for your time.